Hey everybody, I'm Carla the Alberta Girl. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to can oranges. And it's a pretty simple procedure with a little bit of hurry up and wait happening. The first thing you want to do is to peel your oranges. And I've already gone ahead and done that today. And here they are. This is what 20 pounds of peeled oranges look like. This is probably about 13 and a half, 14 pounds after you peel I had four 5-pound bags in here. And after you take the peels off and peel them and get as much of the pith off as you can. Now, what the hurry up and wait part is right here. You need to cover it with water. And for every 2 liters of water, for every liter of water gets 2 teaspoons of something called pectic enzyme. And I just picked this up at my local winemaking store. So because I know I'm going to be having a lot here, and this is a 2-liter jug. What I've done is I've measured out I've marked it to 2 liters, and I'm just going to add 3 teaspoons of the pectic enzyme, instead of the 4, just because I know I've got so much here, and it's going to be soaking for a good 8 to 10 hours, I'm going to guess. And I'm just going to add the pectic enzyme. So like I said, 3 teaspoons, which actually is a tablespoon, I think, is 1 tablespoon per 2 liters. That should work fine. And what this is going to do is this is going to actually remove all of the pith and the skin so that you have a really clean, finished product. It'll be very similar to what you would get in a store. So I'm just gonna give it a stir here, incorporate it. And then we're just gonna pour it in. Just like so. Now, how much do you add? That's why I'm doing it 2 liters at a time. You need to do it so that you get the oranges covered. And I'm guessing that we're gonna have, if not 8 liters of water in here, it'll be pretty close. So there we go. So that was 1. I'll be back when I'm done the rest. Look at that. Okay, so that was 6 liters of water. And I'm just going to spread them out a little bit better, just to get them all submerged, really. And that's fine. So we're just gonna leave this, like I said, overnight, and we'll check on it in the morning. And for all intents and purposes, this is all supposed to be just dissolved into like a goo. So yeah, works for me. There we go, perfect. And before anybody gets upset, pectin enzyme is completely natural. You can absolutely even eat it. Oh wow, these are good. So just to keep everything nice and sanitary, I'm going to put the lid back on. And then we are going to hurry up and wait. So that's the first step. If you need me to show you how to peel an orange, I'll happily do it. But peeling an orange, like I said, is no big deal. It's just peel the orange. You want to segment the oranges, and then you want to put them all into a pot or something. Now, the reason I'm doing this many, this will do approximately 7 to 8 quart jars, I've been told, and I'm aiming for about 18 pint jars. I'd like to have 2 canner loads or 2 like layers in my canner. I'm going to be canning these in pint jars tomorrow. Just because that's what I prefer when it comes to oranges. And I don't eat a ton of oranges, and they are a pretty large piece of fruit. So I figure a pint jar is about 2 servings for me anyways. So we'll do that and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody, or I guess this afternoon. Good afternoon. So I ended up adding a whole lot more. I pulled 2 liters of this liquid out this morning, and I added the remainder of that pectic acid or pectic enzyme. Unfortunately, even though it soaked overnight, it barely took any of the pith off. And I'll tell you right now that 6 liters of water with 50 grams of pectic enzyme, and you can clearly see that it has really done its work. You can see here there's some strings there. Like, it's really, really just falling off like nothing. Now it's time to it's time to rinse these off before we start affecting the texture of the oranges. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a couple of, this is just your regular colander with a bowl behind it. And I'm actually just wanting to save this liquid. And the reason is that I can use it for my peels that we saved. And the reason I want to save I've saved the peels is I'm going to use this slurry. I don't know if there's a better word for it. And I'm going to use it to take the pith off of the peels. And I'm going to make candied orange peels with it. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to use it for some vinegar, and you can't have the pith with the vinegar. So I'm just going to do that, and it just makes it a little easier. But I mean, I am impressed. It was, like I said, $3.50, I think, for that package, and it did a beautiful job. But you can see there's still remnants on it. It's literally falling off. So what I'm going to do is rinse it really, really well, and apparently that will get rid of the last of it, the friction. And what I can't, then I'll just pick off by hand. Not a big deal, but I think that should do the trick. Let's just get that down a little bit, get them all under the water. But yeah, so it's definitely soaked for about 14 hours now. And good enough. And then I'm just going to literally pour that into the pot I have here. And I will just keep compressing it until we get them done. Just like that. Okay. We're just going to give these a good rinse. Just cold water. Oh, medium. And I'm just going to put them back in as I've pulled them out. I'll put them back into the bowl, but I'm going to put them into another bowl so I don't cross-contaminate. You get the idea. I'm going to come back in a bit. Okay, everybody, this is the last round of the oranges. What I've done is just to take the basket or the colander, put the oranges into the colander with like that. Then the juice goes into with the peels. Then these are going to get rinsed pretty aggressively, and we just rinse the water, and it does help loosen the pith quite a bit. You can see just in the sink there, it's coming out quite a lot. And there we go. So we're just gonna swirl, and once they're, you know, kind of done, yeah, I'm gonna change this water. This is pretty grunge, so we'll just change the water out and do that really quick. And then this just gives you a nice clean water to work with while you rinse, because you are going to be picking off the pith of every one of these. Oh my Lanta, what was I thinking? Now, definitely the pectic enzyme made a huge difference. Absolutely. It's been nothing to take these off, but it's just so many. So we've got that like so, and then we're just going to dump them in like so. Put that up there. And then we're just going to give them a swirl. And like I said, this is the last batch, so it won't take me too long. So far, I've been working on these for about 2 hours. Yeah, about an hour and a half. And I've put a total of 2 hours in. There's the pith that I've removed so far. And we'll just keep going until we are done. And this is what I've been doing. This seems to be working well. Just, you know, kind of picking out what you can as you can, and do that. And then I've been putting them into a bowl. I'll do a second rinse, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so we've got the bowl all peeled up. And we're just going to dump them back into the sink for a second rinse. Give it a really good rinse. We've plucked all of the... And we'll catch a few more, I'm sure. Yeah, right there. Okay, so we'll just give it a swoosh and a swirl. And so how it works, I'm not really sure, but it basically dissolves the connective tissue that holds the pith on. And it just smushes right off. Like, it literally falls right off. Now, it leaves the skin intact, and we'll give it a try with. I'm not peeling the skin off of all of these oranges. That's just too ridiculous for me. And I really want it to hold its flavor. Like, I don't want the juice in here to all just kind of go into the syrup. So we'll just give it another rinse. We'll let them soak a minute. And then drain the water, obviously. Yeah, just do a quick little, I don't see any. I think I did a pretty good job on these ones. Yeah, there's a few little chunks of pith. So I'm just going to put the camera down. And I mean, you're going to miss the odd strand. It's not going to be the end all and be all if you miss a strand or two. You just don't want to have a ton of it in your canning, apparently, because it's going to just make it really, really bitter. So I'm not worried if I've missed a bit. It'll be what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to leave these here while I take my dog for a walk and have some supper, and bring you back in a minute. Hey everybody, okay, we're back. Sorry, got a little delayed. What we're gonna do now is, I just covered up everything with tea towels, but you can see here we've got the oranges. So now we're just going to fill them with syrup, which I've already got made. The lids are going, the pressure counter's ready to go. And so the syrup is ready to go as well. I've already pre-boiled, and it's let it come to a cool, just cool. Now what it is it's 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and water. And all we're going to do is, like always, we're just going to fill the jars up. Here's my funnel. There it is. And same thing, we're just going to fill it to about here where the neck and the shoulder of the jar meet. Just pour it in there. And there are going to be air bubbles, so we're going to have to debubble, but we'll do that in a minute. We'll get this filled up first. So all of those oranges that we did made a total of 21 pint jars. So I am good for probably 2 years with oranges. And I do have more, so I'm gonna make some wine, but I'll definitely I might do some quart jars, we'll see. And I'm just gonna do a half a dozen at a time because that's what I can handle with one hand. This is why you should have all your tools handy, ready to go at a moment's notice. Now, I've spared you having to watch me jar these. It's the same as anything. You're just gonna want to pack it firmly, but not so firm that the oranges are releasing their juices. But you do need them in there, so to speak. And you want to leave about an inch head space. Now, because we're using the glass lids, that's where the inch is coming from. If you're going to use regular snap lids, then by all means, you know, go as much as a half an inch. But I like using the glass, and hence the inch. We've got some air that came out there, some that came out there, and we've got 1 inch. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just gonna move these out of the way. Now you're gonna have to be firm as well when you're doing this, but you know, not so firm that you're breaking the membrane on these oranges. And again, you just want about an inch worth of head space in both the filling. Now, obviously it's gonna move around a little bit, so don't be terribly excited, but definitely you want these oranges covered with syrup. And you can use, because these are super sweet, you can absolutely use a light syrup. I like the 1-to-1 because it just works for me. But if you wanted to do a light syrup, which is 2 cups of water to every 1 cup of sugar, that would work fine too. So we'll put this down here, top these last 4 up. We don't need much, just a little. Okay, there we go. Now, these are a little fuller, so we're just gonna take a little bit out. Just gonna, a little too full is all I'm saying. Now, there we go. 1 tablespoon probably out of each of these would be fine. Yeah. There we go, perfect. Okay. So then, of course, the next step is going to be our rings. Okay, so of course what always we do is wipe the rims. There we go. And then we're going to lid and ring. And again, you don't have to line yours up, but I like to, so whatever works in your house is just fine. And of course, 3 fingers tight and into the counter it goes. Okay. we got 6 done. And we've got 6 in the canner now. So I'm going to do the rest and I'll be back. Okay, so we've got 16 jars in here into this canner right now. So we'll add our lid. Just like so, lock it up. There we go, nicely done. And then we're just gonna turn the heat on all the way up to high. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to process these for about 20 minutes. And how we're going to do it is a cross between pressure canning and water bath canning. I've got 5 quarts of water in my canner, which filled it after the jars just to about neck level. And the steam and pressure that's going to be created from this is going to be an absolute perfect amount of heat and pressure to get these canned. And that's why we're doing about 20 minutes, like I said. So as soon as it starts venting, that is when we start timing. Like always, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, we have had it on for 20 minutes. So we're just going to, I should probably move these out of the way. We've had it on for 20 minutes. I'm just going to turn the heat off. And if you're wondering why that, it's actually just to keep. The reason I have this on is because otherwise it just shoots straight up and I don't want my ceiling damaged. So this just diffuses it. So now all we're gonna do is just move it out of the way. We're gonna take the pot and just move it over onto the towel. So that has been venting for an easy 20 minutes. It's been on the stove for over an hour. And you can see by the pressure valve here, the escape valve, the safety valve, whatever you want to call it. So with it venting as hard as it is, we know these are going to seal up beautifully. We're going to get it to cool for about, we're going to give it 10 minutes. We'll let it cool and we'll come back in 10. Basically, all we're looking for at this point is to make the button fall back down. Once that's done, there's no pressure, and then we'll be able to open the pot safely. Okay, so the safety button has dropped, and we are now just going to open it up and pull the jars out one by one and crank the rings down as tight as we can. And remember, always open these away from you. And remember, you want to work quick. You need to get this done quickly. Okay, so that is all of them done. I'll try this one more time. This one looks like it might. There we go. Okay, that one might not seal because it's pretty dropped. But again, you never know. So what we're gonna do next is we're just gonna let everything sit for a few minutes, let the pot of water cool down, and then we're gonna get to the next one. We're gonna get to that next round here pretty quick. But 16 jars fresh out of the canner, 16 pints. Just need to let them cool down, and then as soon as they're cool, we'll put them downstairs.